Who can request change? Team members and project managers, sponsors, stakeholders, customers. And Mr. Roof have already answered the question, and it is the correct one. Yes, Mr. Sayyid Usman, great. What about others? Who can request change? And anyone in the project who is being impacted or will be impacted by the project can request a change, which means our answer will be C. Just all of these are the stakeholders. Do not go to the answer customer, because change can be requested by anyone. So answer is stakeholder. Great. Let's go next. A financial tool that calculates the present value of all cash outflows. This is the point. Cash outflows minus the present value of all cash inflows is referred to as what? Internal rate of return, net present value, benefit to cost value, or return on investment. This word, discounted cash flows, always have a single thing in common. This is our keyword, you can say. And you will find this word minus present value. There is only one answer which have this option inside. Is it that difficult? No answers are coming yet. Exactly, Mr. Santhil. Yes, Mr. Galaxy A50, if you could rename it. Yes, Mr. Rao, very good. What about others? Obed, Nazish, Naveed. Yes, Naveed, good. Yes, all of you are correct. It's the net present value. While the return on investment means how much money we will get it based upon our investment. That is called as net present value. Internal rate of return was the percentage with which we will get our money back. Return and then benefit to cost ratio, that how much we are going to invest and how much value is going to come. Great, good try. For this project, the team may develop its own set of operating procedures and operate outside the standard formalized reporting structure during the project. What organizational structure does this represent? May, not can. If it is can, the answer will be 100% projectized. If I remove the word may and use the word can, then the answer will be what? Projectized. So now we have may. And in functional organization, who is the boss? Functional manager. So in functional organization also, we cannot do it. And in matrix, it's not written that a strong matrix, weak matrix, or balanced matrix. So upon that context, Usman was correct. It is called as composite. Composite type of. If matrix is just the only option, that could be correct. But here we have better option than matrix, which is composite. And composite is, it's a combination of multiple things, because the word is what? May. It has a probability. In function, it's not possible. In projectized, it's not possible. For sure, your first impression will go towards what? Matrix. So based upon matrix, and we have composite. So matrix is not defining, because if it is weak matrix, function manager will never let you do this. And if it is a strong matrix, you can do it. Or even in balanced matrix, you can do it. So matrix is not precise enough, while composite is precise enough to answer this question. That's why composite is the correct answer. Great. Let's go next. Early in the establishment of the project manager spends time looking for historical data that might be helpful in planning the new project. She's looking for examples that have been completed. She's also looking for information about established processes and procedure. When you start reading from the beginning, you already know the answer is, but now in the last part of the question, we have already received those things. Where we keep our policies and procedures, where they belong to, now you know the answer very clearly. Exactly. Keep going. Yes, very nice. So far, all of you are correct. What about others? Mr. Roof, look it again. Mr. Nabi, Mr. Bed. Yes, correct. Very good. Mr. Shah, no, there is nothing called like this. It is called as OPA, Organizational Process Assets. OPA belongs to this part of it. Great. And EF contains our vision, measures, beliefs, code of conduct, our infrastructure, facilities, resources, compliance, economic conditions, journals. These all are what? EEF. Or I told you a shortcut. The document which is guiding you is OPA, and the document which you have to follow is EEF. Next, the methodology used to systematically test possible solutions, assess the results, and implement those that work is known as which of the following? This is the keyword. Implement those which work. And it happens only in no, the methodology. Exactly, Mr. Santal. Usman, there is another word for that. Mr. Ustad, this is the ceremony, not methodology. This is the ceremony or activity or what you call it, the meeting. They are not asking about meeting. They are asking the methodology. No, Mr. of methodology. It's the framework. Usman, this is the meeting. They are asking what? Methodology. So there is only one methodology here, which is called as Plan, Do, Study, Act. PDCA or PDSA. Plan, Do, Study, Act. Systematically test possible solutions. Assess the results. Look, test, assess, and implement. Plan, Do, Study, Act. They already, Plan, Do, Check Act or Plan, Do, Study Act. I told you that it was Plan, Do, Study Act, then the world changed it to PDCA. And again, it's being used as PDSA now after the death of Mr. Deming. Plan, Do, Study Act. So by the definition, answer is always in the question based upon our understanding. You will always find it there. Who is regarded as the father of the continuous improvement? Now you can answer it. Now it's easier for you. Even you don't need to think. These are like 2 5-second questions, 2-second, 3-second questions. When you read the word continuous improvement, you already have the answer. Yes, Mr. Rajak, great. Yes, Mr. Sayyid Usman. Yes, Mr. Raouf. Now all of you are correct. Mr. Deming, who invented Plan, Do, Study, Act, is the father of continuous improvement. Anyone remember what Flip Crosby said? I used to say a word while explaining the quality. What was the thing of Mr. Flip Crosby? Anyone remember? I used to give you the example of fire extinguisher in the room. According to Mr. Flip Crosby, anyone can type it on the chat window. There was a very popular sentence we use it. Mr. Philip Crosby says, he said quality is, what was the word? Quality is free. He said quality is free. Mr. Flip Crosby said quality is free. And Mr. Jurin, what was Mr. Jurin? Mr. Jurin Joseph. Anyone remember from there? As I told you that today we'll discuss the full thing, not only the question, so you guys can recall yourself. There is a word we use, Joseph Joren triology, and it was what? Quality management, and what it was? Quality should be built in, right? He said that quality should be built in, and then it has to be improved, plan, manage, and control. Great. Next, a meeting that is held at frequent intervals in an agile project is referred to as which of the following? Frequent interval. Status meetings, retrospect meetings, end of phase meetings. There is nothing called end of phase meeting. There is nothing called status meeting, right? There is nothing called lesson learned meeting. So yes, ultimate answer is, what is the ultimate answer? All of you are correct who have answered yet. Retrospect meetings. Because there is nothing called lesson learned, end of phase, and status meetings. It happens in predictive, not in agile. Great. Which one of the following would not be part of your quality management plan? Would not be. Be careful with the not. Quality standard and rules, MVP, quality tools to be used, major procedures for dealing with non-conformance. Management plans, we discuss what is the meaning of management plan, how. So at the time of quality management plan, we establish how. So yes, Mr. Rauf and Ms. Ussa, you are correct. Your answer is 100% correct. Mr. Naveed, yes, good. Mr. Santal, yes, good. As we are doing agile, who can tell me the difference between MVP and MBI, minimum viable product, versus minimum business increment? Who will tell me the difference? If you want, I can unmute your mics so you can speak on the mic. MVP versus MBI. Minimum viable product versus minimum business increment. Anyone? Why you guys are scared? Say something, whatever you know, even if it is wrong, it should not stop you. Minimum viable product versus minimum business increment. Minimum viable product is used to collect feedback before making the product, to make sure what you are building, what is being built is correct, to avoid waste or for the lean purpose. While minimum business increment is the minimum possible is chunk which will provide return on investment. It's like doing the work manually, and they also call it as what, backbone or skeleton, which has no functionality. It is there, but just to collect the feedback. So we use MVP to reduce the uncertainties, to improve the conditions, to improve the working performances. While MBI is what, after MVP is approved, then we work on MBI, so we can release it. Minimum possible releasable chunk, the things which can be released, so it can generate return on investment. I hope now you can understand it and remember it. That is the difference between MBI and MVP. MVP is minimum viable product, which is used to collect and verify the design. While other is what? MBI, which you can release it in the market. All okay now?
Yeah, yes.
Perfect.
Understood.
So now you can remember it, right? MVP and MBI, minimum viable product versus MBI. So MVP does not provide any revenue, while MBI provides revenue. So now you know the explanation. Great. So minimum viable product cannot be the part of quality management plan. But how to make the MVP? That could be the part of quality management plan. So yes, majority of you were correct. B was the correct answer. Now, which of the following are tools quality management teams use to identify issues? You have to find two correct answers. Identify issues can only be found out by these options which are mentioned here, and you know that what they are. Yes, one is that. And what is the second one? Yes, Mr. Santil, correct. What about others? Mr. Rauf, yes, very good. I have always explained you guys that when you're answering the questions, you must be damn sure before selecting an answer, and you should have the reasoning for every option. For example, planning poker is used for, who remembers? Planning poker is used for
Estimation.
estimations. Very good. And Kano medal is used for prioritizations, to prioritize, right? We have two of more common methods, Moscow and Kano. Must have, should have, could have, won't have. And Kano model have what? Exciters, delighters, indifferent. So the features which delight customer should be on the top. The features which will make the customer angry, they should be on parallel. And this is features, they have no value, they can be eliminated. So B is what? Estimation technique, and then D is what? Prioritization technique. Now you are 100% damn sure that what you have selected is actually the correct answer. So you have the courage to select that. Yes. How many answers we have to select? Two. For sure, to identify issues, we use what? Audit. There is no second opinion about it. Design for X, we use to find a solution, an option which can make your life easy. Number 10, which of the following are effective guidelines for measuring project compliance? Compliance, how it can be measured? Tracking work in Gantt chart, using quality assurance outputs to confirm deliverables and process compliance and identify the need for corrective actions, prioritizations, or reporting progress by conducting a sprint review and demo. In sprint review and demo, is there anything related to compliance? What do you think? Question has anything related to D?
No, sir. Sprint
It
review
has-
is backlog.
Sprint reviews for the demonstration, not to
Demo.
check the compliance. Compliance will be checked at the planning meeting, right?
Yes. Yes.
You have to determine it before you start making it. It cannot be in the review meeting. And similarly, Moscow is the prioritization technique. It has nothing to do with compliance. So two options are gone. Now remaining one option, which is tracking work. By tracking the work in Gantt chart, you can never find out the compliance. So remaining answer is B, which even if you will read it, you will find it correct. But we are sure that we have selected the correct answer. You have the confidence in yourself that yes, whatever you are choosing, it has all the relevant options. Great. Next, which of the following is not a Passel factor? Passel means external factors or political factors, or you can say EEF. So Passel stands for which is not the factor of Passel. Exactly, Mr. Santhal. Now all of you are correct. Yes, there is nothing called effectiveness. There is nothing called effectiveness. It's what? Political, economical, social, technology, legal, and environmental. Very good. What is the rule of a configuration management system? Track change requests, prioritize the product backlog, control versioning of all components, define roles and responsibilities. Exactly, Mr. Rao. Very good. Yes, Mr. Santhal, very good. What about others? Configuration management system is used only for one purpose, which is what? Versions, controlling the versions of all components. All of you are correct. Now, may I ask you what A is representing? Okay, your answers are correct for this question, but what A is representing? What A is representing? Give me the name of that document.
Change management plan.
No, this is the plan
Okay.
that how the changes look. Management plan means what? Always remember, whenever you hear this word management plan, it means how,
Okay.
right? So management plans cannot be the answer because it is the thing. You are going to track the change request and to track, if you remember the change process, people will apply the change, project manager will log the change in that document. And yes, exactly, Navid. Change log.
Change.
Track change request can be done with the help of change log. Okay. To support change, listen carefully. To support change, let me write it. I think you will not focus while I'm speaking. Let me write it. To support change while or to support change while implementing or while making, you need to review dependencies before implementing, before approving or implementing the change. Before improving or implementing the change. Answers are change control plan, configuration management, requirement traceability matrix. None of them and all of them. Which answer you think is correct for this? This is A. This is B. This is C. This is D. And this is E. What do you think is the correct answer? For approving or implementing the change. Which document, which artifact will help you? Among those, which option is correct? And if you want, I can give you a hint. Keyword is this. This is the keyword. This is the keyword. Exactly, Mr. Sir. Whenever you find this word dependencies, dependencies are only available in requirement traceability metrics. We take requirement traceability metrics, a very lighter document, but it is the backbone of the whole project management, which contains all the requirements and their dependencies, without which you cannot do anything. So yes, answer is requirement traceability matrix. If you guys have been understanding the questions well, listen carefully. If you guys have been understanding the question well, now I will ask you to make the question by yourself. I will not do it, you do it now. I want that you change the question or rephrase the question. Listen carefully. You rephrase the question that all of them can be the correct answer. Rephrase the question in a way and paste it on the chat window that all of them can be the correct answer. And your time starts now. And you have only 2 minutes maximum to write it down. Write it on the chat window. Do not speak on the mic. Question is, write something, rephrase the question in a way that all the options, change control plan, configuration management system, and requirement traceability matrix, all of them can be the right answer. What you will write in the question. That is what we call it the perfect learning. When you are able to make questions, you are able to analyze the situations, and then you can select a better answer. What is the process that change request has to go through within an organization? It's good. Try Miss Osa, very good. But it's going for option A. B and C are still not included. This description is amazing. I like it. But you need to add some more words so A and B can, sorry, B and C can also be covered. Let me give you all of you the option what Mr. Hussa has written. What is the process that any change request has to go through within an or within any organization? So yes, it's perfectly fit for change control plan, but configuration management systems and requirement traceability metrics, these two options are this one B is slightly missing and C is fully missing. So integrate those things. What is included in the change control process? No. What is included? That's what we call it, Mr. Roche, the shortcut question. That you make it and it says yes. It is like when we have our kids. How many parts of a flower? Leaf, stem, and roots. It's like this. And PMI is not that easy. Come on, guys, give it a try. Keeping in mind all requirement and compliance. Yes, Mr. Sir, very good. Very nice, very nice. That's very good. Now it makes the complete question. If you add the whole thing together, yes. In that condition, all of it. So that's what we call it, that your learning process is in good shape, that you are able to analyze and think about it. That okay, it can happen. Very good. So out of so many people, only 2 have given a try. What about others who are sitting and enjoying the show? This is the question prepared by Ms. Osa, and I believe that I can consider it that yes, D could be the correct answer for them. Yes, Mr. Obed, what do you think, Mr. Santel, Mr. Osama, Mr. Nazish? Give it a try. All of you are intelligent enough to do that. You already have a sample now in front of you. Are you trying? Or shall we move on? I think you guys can paste it in the chat window. In the meanwhile, let's go to the questions. Let's continue and close the questions which we started. So that was about configuration management system. Now let's go. Which of the following is not a benefit? Not a benefit of planning for a minimum viable product, which is not the benefit of MVP. There are 2 options very nearby. One is better. Not. Mr. Rauf, you forgot that not. Not is the call. Not is the call. MVP, minimum viable product. Minimum viable product. Yes, Mr. Naveed. Yes, Mr. Rohit. Now you got it right. Yes, Mr. Ashik. Project team disbands early. You might go for the early value from the service, but there is a more better answer than that. Project team disband early, which is not an option. So yes, D was the correct answer. Project team disbands early. How just because of MVP you can remove the team? You cannot remove the team. Just because of this. Project team disbands early was the correct answer. Very good. Next, last year your company released a new service based on a project you managed. The company wants to determine if the new service has increased the customer satisfaction. Which tool can measure the happiness? The keyword is what? Measure the happiness of users of the new service based on their willingness to encourage others to use service against those who would discourage others to use service. To measure the happiness, there is only one tool here. No, Mr. Rauf, yes. What about others? No, Mr. Ashik. Swan, yes. SRS, no. Naveed, yes. To measure the happiness, look, when you search anyone on the Google, you check their feedbacks, right? And the feedbacks are coming from net promoter score. That what is their feedback? What is their situation? A/B testing is used in the marketing. A/B testing is used in the marketing where we check that if we have two advertise post, which post is doing better, or if we have two marketing strategies, which option is working better for us, so we can make a better strategy for the next one. While plan value and net value has nothing to do with the happiness of the customer. Next, every time box iteration in the project has a demo scheduled at the end during the iteration review session. What is the goal of the review meeting or demo session? To groom the iteration backlog, to revise the product backlog, to solicit feedback from the product owner, to establish the features to be included in the product backlog. Mr. Santhal, yes, you are correct. Yes, Mr. Rao. Yes, Mr. Sir, very good. No, Mr. Navi. The purpose of goal is to solicit feedback from the product owner and other stakeholders that do they like the work or they want to make any changes was the correct answer. Now, that was the option, but let me ask you that what is D? To establish the features to be included in the product backlog. What it represent? What is it? What D is referring to? No, in the product backlog. User story would be the better option. Or is user story card to establish the features to be included in the product backlog. What we include in the backlog? Apex, right? Apex, and Apex contains what? User stories. Apex contains user stories that should be included in the product backlog. To groom the iteration backlog, what does that mean? To groom the product backlog. Any idea about it? What is another name of backlog grooming? Yes, great, very nice, very good. What is another name of backlog grooming? Backlog grooming is also called as backlog. It is also called as backlog refinement. It is also called as backlog refinement. So as I explained earlier, if you are going with this approach, that you know the options, you can analyze those options, you have the confidence to select the best answer for your question. This is the only way to get success in exam. And I think that was the last question for today. Yes.